Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. As I've been saying now for a few weeks, actually a couple of weeks since we put the low out, we've got a descending 1/3 speed line at 280.53 and an equally significant horizontal channel top at 289.37 that represents our ceiling of resistance through the month of May, and below which selling pressures should continue to build and result in downside continuation into the mid 150s to low 160s, and by that I mean 156.32 to 162.42 5-year channel support based on the November 21 high against the December 24 low. That trend line projected against the January 23 low puts you right in at 156.32, and we also use this inside low that was put out in 24. So it is a range. It's expected over the next 3 to 5 weeks, 156.32 to 162.42, so long as we continue trading below the 280s, 280.53 to 289.37. Now, on the way down, I'm going to go with the downside first. And I suppose this isn't too much of the downside, but I've got 237.34. That is the 5/8 Fibonacci that we bottomed out at roughly late last week. We certainly gapped below it on Monday. It is our intraday resistance, 237.34, and below which the 211.44, almost a 2-week channel bottom, week and a half long channel bottom, is in reach today. 211.44 can contain daily selling pressures. And if we close below 211.44 today, 193.65 is then likely within 1 to 2 days. 193.65 is channel support that spans several weeks, can contain weekly selling pressures. We might even round up from here. I don't know if we would round back up into the 280s within 2 to 3 to 5 weeks of doing so, but we could see a stability play out following a test of 193.65. Now, closing below 193.65 well, how do I frame this? You can see this channel bottom is dropping, and that by pretty much the middle of May, in about 3 weeks, it converges anyway with the 162.42 long-term support that I mentioned earlier here on the weekly chart. So yeah, over the next few weeks, that 193.65 converges anyway with long-term support. So if we take our time getting down here, if it takes a few weeks to get down here, it's all a bit of a moot point anyway. The accelerator for actually anticipating 193.65 sooner than later would be a settlement today below 211.44. So in terms of the day trading, I know these are really wide numbers, but I've got very sellable resistance at 237.34. I don't know if we'll see that today, but if so, it can contain intraday, possibly daily highs, and below which the emphasis remains heavy to 211.44, where we can place a daily low. Closing below 211.44, expect a test this week of 193.65, where a weekly low can be placed, and possibly into later May trade, we could round up again. There will be a new descending channel top that will combine with the channel bottom that we might just call a 2 to 3 week possibility. But if we close below 193.65 over the next week or so, that would be consistent with our longer term expectation of 162.42. So closing below 193.65, expect that 162.42 to 156.32 region within just another full week of activity. Let's take a look at the upside today. I've got 237.34. Now, I am not expecting 252.64 today, but if we close today above 237.34, I see no good reason to stay short into Wednesday's trade. I would expect a Wednesday-Thursday rally to 252.64. That is a 1.5 week channel top in itself that can contain daily highs. And if we close above 252.64, I do see that as being a significant upward pivot into next week. Yes, I've got 262.70, simple trend line off the highs. But if we close above 252.64 over the next, few days, let's say, and I think that is highly unlikely, but if so, just know that the 280s are expected within a week or two of closing This is the better shot right here. This is a better XY ratio. A closing above 252.64. I see no good reason to be short Tesla. If your time horizon is, say, 3 to 5 days, the better part of 2 weeks, let's just call it 3 to 5 days, we should then push into the 280s where a sell opportunity would present, anticipating then bearish rotation once again into the 150s, 160s within 3 to 5 weeks. Now, last thing I'll say, and it's not going to happen today, and I don't think it's going to happen over the next few weeks, but if we do close above 289.37, that is a good low for the second quarter. Within 3 to 5 weeks is possible. It could also take the better part of 2 months. 384.37 would be expected, a descending 2/3 speed line. And so when you close above a descending 1/3 speed line at 280.53, the descending 2/3 speed line becomes the objective, but I would be, let's wait for the settlement above 289.37 before really reversing and jumping on the long side of the market as we move through the month of May. Until then, I can give you all kinds of levels that are meaningful. 252.64 is the next resistance to sell on at least a daily basis. This could also possibly hold through the rest of the week. If you're looking to sell the market on a 3 to 5 week basis, it is in the 280s. I just don't know if we're going to see that before we reach our objective in the 150s, 160s. And then working downside once again, of course, I'll mention we have 193.65 that I don't actually expect to see today, but I would expect to see it within the week if we close below 211.44. There is a case to be made on a 3 to 5 day swing trade basis for buying 211.44 and then holding out perhaps for 252.64. We don't have them both in the same chart, but that is a case that you could make. But we do remain heavy. So I'm reluctant really to, buy 211.44 on anything more than just a day trade basis. I'm reluctant to buy it on a 3 to 5 day basis. You can be my guest, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, because we have this low area here, these double bottom. We could slip below that. 211.44 is just below this area, and it is the perfect sort of head fake where you get shorts entering the market or longs bailing on the market as they bottom pick all of this stuff in here, only to tag 211.44 and to bounce back above all of this by the end of the day. So yeah, a 211.44, if you're a 3 to 5 day swing trader, it's the only level I see in the immediate vicinity that can be bought ever so carefully, anticipating then possible upward rotation to this 252.64 descending channel top. But, I think sell side is the way to go right now. So you're either selling 252.64 or perhaps you're selling a settlement below 211.44, anticipating 193.65. I do think 193.65 is an area you can stick your neck out on a weekly basis, and we just might round back up to channel resistance following that test. But I say it once again, probably the 10th time in this video, I am expecting the mid 150s to the low 160s, and closing below 193.65 would set that up lickety split, like within a week or two. I hope this all made sense. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe, go to wickedstocks.com. Check out our recent stock picks. Last week was Motorola and Dutch Brothers. We've got 3 or 4 that are right on the edge that are still valid, tradable stock picks that have yet to actually go off. We give you the exact specifications for that. You'll also, with the free trial, get daily SPY, daily triple Q analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis, etc., etc., etc. And it's no cost to you. You get it for 5 days up front. If you don't like what you see, you can bail on your 4th or 5th day at no cost. I'm going to leave it at that for Tuesday's Tesla Report. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesdays, and you have a great day.